of setup, and I believe it is also the mid-jungle duo we have seen at the beginning of the day from the, the side of Axis, and they were able to find some early responses to place. And Belveth, once you get her rolling, she's a pretty strong champion indeed.
Yeah, I am a little bit of a because obviously we need to keep everything unique. I'm actually not a massive fan of Belveth as a champion because of one specific reason, and it's the fact that I think that she can really struggle against longer range compositions. And when your main carry is Twitch that you're playing against, I think there's potential here that Rascal Jesters may end up just getting sort of outranged by the Twitch in the later stages, as well as having to deal with this Ignite Ghost Vladimir, who clearly wanting to play very, very aggressive both in lane and in those later stages.
Yeah, that is definitely one to watch. We're going to take a look at the rules. Nothing that really surprises me too much. Worth pointing out, Steel, of course, going for the Predator, so just fitting the theme of let's run at Rascal Jester, try and get someone, freeze them down, and completely neutralize the rest of the team.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking sort of down the list, there's nothing too surprising in the runes. Obviously, we are seeing that Skarner pick here for Steel, the Predator, showing, should we say, the requirement of this champion. If you're not going to get into range of anyone, you're pretty useless. And I wonder whether we will see people end up having to pay their taxes because we do have obviously the orange on the top side, so can kind of get away with it. However, the other members not necessarily affording the same financial security within this one. But it also means that I think Steel will struggle a little bit pre-6 to make things happen. So it's kind of on the DFM laners just play safe enough, play cautious enough to not get caught out early.
Secret gonna go for the hook. That is good damage down onto Harp. Utapon looking to trade back. And yeah, one of the good things about Nautilus is you just can go for those early plays if you're playing into a lane who needs a few levels before they start hitting hard.
Yeah, only issue is that when you are playing into this Yuumi lane, it is more of a war of attrition versus initial engage. So whilst this is a nice initial play here for Rascal Jester, I wonder whether in the long run the Yuumi lane will end up just sustaining out and then suddenly HP value differences do come into play, because obviously the Nautilus only got those 2 potions, one of them already ticked down.
Indeed. Worth pointing out, both junglers are doing the full clears from their blue sides to their red sides from the time being. Steel is going to be quicker on that, and I know is currently pushing the top lane in.
Yeah, it is definitely possible to see something happen towards the top side, but I feel like Eno has a reasonable amount of ability to outplay this one. You can also just realistically shove that one in, crash it. In the bot side, though, more aggression.
Yeah, even more fighting going down. Soul brought down to half HP, and I'd say health-wise, this is probably quite an even trade, but Yuumi, of course, sustained, meaning that the FM bot lane feeling better off at the end of it.
Yeah, and that's kind of the problem with this lane, right? Is that extra sustain difference. So you don't have, if you have a support like maybe the Alistar whose passive can come into play and help mitigate that, it will help out. But unfortunately, Nautilus and Zeri can't really do the same. And now Eno in a really awkward spot on the top side. There isn't a lot of mana. Might have to pop those biscuits to help crash this one. And Heavy just not allowing that recall at all.
Keeping the wave here, and now I know will be taking the back right now, unless... Oh, okay, the Tides of Blood almost stopping this on recap. Could be in a bit of trouble. Cannot take the Frozen Paladin. Has to burn the Flash, but that is the first blood picked up by Aharon Hatchamech. I could not do a damn thing.
Yeah, the misplay from Recap hovering the wrong side of the lane as well ends up getting punished as another hook.
Utapon is actually getting very, very low, but now the minions blocking this area auto attacks. He is going to be just fine. Cleanse for Ignite being traded. No kills.
Yeah, but this time, Harp's looking a little bit rougher, should we say, in terms of the mana department. Does still have about half left, but Secret could still look for more. It is sort of a trade kill situation now here for Rascal Jester, but they're able to get themselves that push. I'd like to see them try to at least ward out that bottom side before they base. They're not going to end up doing that, though, so it does mean that you're kind of not getting any amazing value, but look at the CS discrepancy here in the bottom side. It's already looking very much Rascal Jester favored, so at the very least they are piloting their champions relatively well in the mid lane, or in the early game rather, but in terms of the mid lane, Recap just ends up going towards this top side, wanting to help their jungler out for a crab, I imagine, but it's just too early. There's no real reason to path this way, and the punish is more than enough. Easy charm for Yaharong, and it's just flash for flash. Easy as you like. DFM will take that first blood happily.
Yeah, and really good timing there on the charm. Just a bit of a shadow. No way that Recap could escape from this one, and easy as that. Yeah, Harong with a kill, with a bit of CS advantage. Overall, DFM still shy of 1,000 gold, and well, in terms of good things for Rascal Jester, it really is only that volume, because Belveth not going to have too much of an impact early on. I know is getting bullied out by Evie in the CS department, and we just saw the mid lane, so it's only that Zeri you've got for yourself now, Rascal Jester.
Yeah, the biggest problem with that sort of kill in the mid lane is that it actually throws off a bunch of your timings as well. Meanwhile, they're in the top side, still looking for the counter play. You know that this dragon is going down, so you want to make something happen at least on the top side, so it makes sense, but it's not going to end up working out thanks to that pink ward. But because of that death in the mid lane, it's going to shift the matchup a little bit, because now that lost chapter has come through for Yaharong. It means that you're able to push pretty consistently as engaging in the top side.
Team up like down from Abby, there's going to be quite a lot of damage onto Aino, and the joys of Vladimir, everyone. He just wins the trade. That's it.
Yeah, it was ult invested as well as Ignite though there for Evie, so it's a case of investing that in exchange for hopefully getting a better recall situation, but the CS lead is starting to slowly but surely accrue. Evie could potentially look for the push into reset here to get the a little bit more of that damage, a little bit more of that CDL, which is so important on Vladimir for that laning phase. But as of right now, just slowly but surely pushing. But the question for me now is with the place happening in the mid lane, do you have a timing to go towards that bottom side and try and fully swing this lane? Because when we look down the list, the only situation that is positive here for Rascal Jester is that bottom side.
Well, Recap is getting continually bullied out, so it's going to be difficult to find a way to go down there. Aino stuck in the top lane, but does have access to the cannon barrage. And it does feel like Hachimecha is only interested in farming up, which, fair enough, you are playing a Belveth, but it doesn't help the rest of your team get through the early stages, where DFM laners are just straight up outplaying in most cases.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a reason why there's CS leads being accrued across the board, and I feel like whenever you play against DFM, you're just praying you don't have to play against them on red side, because you're giving Evie a counter pick, and that is an absolutely terrible situation here in the LJL. Known for being one of the strongest players in the region historically, and sort of stamping authority on this matchup at the moment. However, the greediest player in human history, because still no recall about 8 minutes in, has basically got nothing to Sheen. This is the one window in which, if you are Rascal Jester, you go, right, we're going topside. Let's try and kill the Vladimir. Let's get him while he's got no money. Maybe we can do something.
I would agree with the theory. They're
Oh.
not going to go for it. That hook, I don't know if they actually saw you to put recall. Their Lightning Crash is going to come down. Forces 3 summoners out of the DFM bot lane. Good heads up the play there from Rascal Jester.
Yeah, easy enough. It's a nice little summoner trade, and if nothing else, you're going to be able to get yourself that priority secured on that bottom side, but also you're going to make sure that you do have the availability to have that flash down for the next Dragon contest. So it is going to have a knock-on effect for the next couple of minutes of time, and I really hope that Rascal Jester, they haven't looked the most proactive yet, so I'd like to see them utilize this opportunity now to target this potentially vulnerable Twitch Yumi lane.
If you've got an opportunity, well, the window is now. Herald is up though, and you can see the recalls coming in from both sides. Everyone now picking up items, including Abby. And they are making their way towards this Herald pit. And Rascal Jester are the first ones with a setup. So if there is going to be a stray Twitch walking into that river, potentially we will see it being punished.
Yeah, starting up Shelton Benjamin is Hachimeka, so might be wanting that one, but I think it's a little bit greedy here. It is that 3v4 situation right now. Recap hasn't arrived yet, is in the vicinity, and instead we're just jostling for position at the moment. The only issue is, look at that bottom wave. It's already pretty large, starting to stack up and pushing in, so you have to feel like the ones that need to pull the trigger here are DFM. They're the ones that are slowly but surely sacrificing, and if there's any champ that doesn't want to sacrifice CS, it's going to be this Twitch who has yet to buy that first item. It's a risky fight here, but the 5v5 might be about to break out.
Abby walked down from the top lane. He is first in the river. The FM have got all 5 members. So do the Rascal Jester. But how do they approach it? How do they break it? How do they try to engage this fight? The answer is they're not really going to. Herald goes down without contest. The final chapter coming down just as a zoning tool. And it feels like it's been a whole big waste of time here for the Rascal Jester.
I'm going to be honest with you, I think that we contested that at the same amount of effectiveness as Rascal Jester did. But it might be able to get a lot worse as the flash is blown for Eno. So, I mean, I've heard of like watch parties for Worlds, but I've never heard of watch parties for Heralds. That's a new one.
Certainly.
It's inefficient, shall we say. Inefficient and secret now.
He is going to be fishing. Beautiful hook. Lightning crash coming down. But the rest of the DPM are here. Utapon, he's still alive. Yarok is coming in. And Utapon picks up that double kill. This is illegal.
Oh, it's a go next angle. That's a really unfortunate one because now suddenly there's an investment of 2 kills worth of gold into this Twitch. The top side isn't looking good either, and it feels like suddenly DFM are feeling very comfortable in this one, but trading back onto Evie, the Hemoplague and the Ignite available, but getting chunked pretty bad. And I mean, it's a nice attempt here from Rascal Jester, but it's just a little bit too much. I wonder how much of it was this depth charge. Look, the vision denial comes through from the Q. Unfortunately, though, the hook lands. However, that delay is enough for Steel to get inbounds, and once the Skarner's on you, there's no escape. Soul gets locked up. Harong is there to help out, and it's just 2 kills over to the Rat.
Alright, Secret going in for another hook. This one surely must result in a kill, and Soul will be able to get himself one. But yeah, that was a crushing blow to Rascal Jester in the bot lane by Utapon, who now has that Blade of the Ruined King finished. Good to see you, Rascal Jester. They're not going to give up. In fact, Secret is setting up for what looks to be another dive as Hachamecha is taking the Dragon. Hex Touch over the wall into the Dredge line. Forces the cleanse. Ignite is down. Utapon safe though.
Yeah, but that chunk will have meaning because remember now Belveth is in the area. They did take the Dragon already, so going to be able to push this one and likely just deny the wave as Utapon seems to be playing it smart enough, playing back for the one wave. One of the fun things about Twitch, obviously, that stealth can help out quite a lot in that regard, but instead, Steel looking for the bailout. It could be a little bit awkward. In this bottom side, Yaharong is moving first as well.
Yeah, the recap is nowhere to be seen. There's going to be a 3-on-5, and Secret already chunked down low. There's a heal coming through, but Utapon picks up the kill anyways. Hachamecha is getting destroyed by Yaharong, and Soul going into the alcove, trying to buy some more time, but it is a double kill picked up by Utapon, and Hachamecha escaping on a sliver of health. Recap has to burn the flash. It's DFM all the way.
Yeah, call him the Red Cross because that was a donation there in the bottom side. Both kills going over to that Rad, and suddenly Twitch is strong. Eno.
I think he's dead here right now, honestly. Abby will be looking for the solo kill, healing up so much. No, the turret! Abby will die and Ino survives!
The suck ain't enough there for the Vladimir. It's an easy turnaround as GP Eno looking strong in that one. The miscalculation is minor, but it's enough. And unfortunately for Evie, it's going to be a nice turnaround pickup here for the top side. That gold massive in terms of potentially flip-flopping this lane around in the opposite direction. As Secret maybe looking for more, but I think maybe spotted out is Steel.
Yes, but Secret only disengage. You've got that 4-0 Twitch on the Utapon. I don't think he has recall since picking up the Blade of the Ruined King, so a lot of potential gold, a lot of potential power sitting on this AD carry, and DFM are switching their frames of reference. They're gonna hopefully try and funnel even more gold as we're gonna go back into this fight, and this is the power of having Prime in the mid lane. Yaharong just moves first.
It's also just a decent amount of knowledge here to know that that dive is going to come through. They prepared for it in advance. Yaharong, as you say, comes down. Steeler's there too, and it's just a simple enough 4v3 to play out. 2 kills end up going over to here to Utapon. Easy donation, and I think it's really impressive here is that Yaharong is just soloing Hachamecha, and as soon as Recap arrives, it's just like, yeah, I'll take you too. Go on, we'll take you both on. Easy double situation there for the R in the mid lane, and Evie, it's so close, but barely doesn't have the damage to come through on this one. Even the Aerie, it's single-digit HP here. I mean, you've got to imagine it's just a biscuit gap here for Eno. Easy as you like, the GP. I mean, if it's that close on the calculation, you can't even blame Evie on that one.
That was close. Well, 40 minutes have passed, and DFM with a big plate advantage, of course, part of the 2000 Goldie that they have built themselves right now. I will say objectives-wise, Rascal Jester, they've got the 2 dragons. We're on... What is the rift? Cloud Rift. Okay, admittedly, the soul isn't too impactful, but still, if you're gonna get yourself that together with the Zeri, your job is not much easier.
Yeah, however, that was both ultis blown in the bottom side there for DFM, so having those on cooldown potentially means now that Rascal Jester could look for something. Flash trade is massive on this one, especially if you are the carrier of Yuumi. It becomes a buy one, get one free special at the supermarket there, where they are selling mouse, which I not necessarily the most culturally accepted, but it's still pretty tasty, I imagine, as this Herald looking to get nommed down by Belveth, and when you've got that little bit of extra that she can gain off of killing that one, you have to imagine it's a priority.
Teleport down from Yaharong into the mid lane. DFM are going to contest, you have to imagine, and they're converging onto this Herald down to 7,000. If we take a look at the ultimate, still unavailable for Utapon and Harp. Everyone on the Rascal Jester have got the ults, and DFM, instead, they're going to go for the mid lane tier 1 turret. Nope, they're not going to be able to do it, actually. Rascal Jester with a rotation right in time.
Yeah, I guess potentially a little bit afraid of, again, those ultimates being down. You are playing that 5v3 kind of out, and you are ahead, obviously, as DFM, but are you ahead enough to not be playing around the 4-0 Twitch? I don't know if that's necessarily the case. So I think it's the smart decision to just take the step back and not risk things. However, this might give a potential window back into the game here, as Hachimecha has got that Herald. If you can find any sort of picks here, especially onto that Twitch, you do have the potential to just blow the game wide open in your own favor, specifically using that Death Charge because the cleanse is up.
Flash over the wall, that's the knock-up and the lockdown to Yaharong, but he's just going to Spirit Rush over the wall and steal. He's going to impale Hachimecha, who has to flash away. Teleport is going to be coming in for minor recap in the middle of the fight. He's going to go gold and steal. Now hooked right back in, will flash away to safety in DFM. None of them are dying. Rascal Jester, the health bars are blinking. They will be forced to cede ground, and this engages the dragon is up, and DFM will be eyeing it up.
Yeah, absolutely, they will do, and this is one of those situations now where Twitch might be out, but Evie is in with the Ghost.
He's rushing, he's trying to kill Secret. Will the Hemoplague be enough? No, but one more transfusion will do the job, and Evie with a kill, DFM with a dragon, and Rascal Jester. They're trying to go for these plays, but they're just not getting any returns. I know is in a tough spot, to say the least. The rest of Rascal Jester are coming in, but 1-on-4 is not the greatest odds, and Abby with yet another one. 2 kills now for the Vladimir.
No. In the top side, that's a rough one for Rascal Jester. 2 deaths coming through, 2 kills for DFM, and you got to feel like they can transition that into the top tower pretty easily. It's just starting to become a little bit of a gold problem. There might be a bit of a wallet whacking in this one, as I mean, just look at the gold graphs on this one. It's incredible to look at. Yaharong, again, slowly, quietly farming up a storm, becoming relevant, and Utapon.
For Soul, who's gonna hop over this wall, but is taken so incredibly low. And yeah, it's good that you pointed out Yaharong, because he's 1-0-1, but 40 CS ahead, and kind of has been there all the time, has been getting the priority to let the DFM find place, and I mean, this isn't admittedly the greatest look, but he survives.
Yeah, and it's just Ari being a little bit too slippery. The CC is there, but there's no W knockup here to chain the CC for the rest to arrive here from the Belveth, and because of that, the slippery Ari can escape, does sort of assassinate here on the side, do a lot of damage to Soul, which chunks out, and it means that, you know, off the back of the rest of the team playing on the front side, Utapon is dealing out so much damage too, it just feels like Rascal Jester they're chunked, and this was before Evie really got to do anything. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, though,
we're gonna cut to yet another teamfight. Teleport is being channeled, and that's the final chapter. Impale onto Hachimecha. Easy as that. He's gonna try and get something back. Still alive. Yaharong swoops in, takes the kill, and it's DFM that we have seen this split so far, where come 20 minutes, they're suddenly all over the map, and they are outnumbering you everywhere.
Yeah, but the biggest problem here is that DFM are also scaling very effectively, as Secret now caught.
Steel is going to go ham on this one. Ebby is in the bot lane, close enough for backup, but Steel deciding to take the chill pill.
Here's the problem. If you are a Rascal Jester fan, it's Evie is a one-item Vladimir and dealing plenty of damage. Udapon is roaming onto your GP and looking for a solo kill.
Mm-hmm. And most likely will get it. Well, Aino does have the flash. He's going to look for the turnaround with the barrel, but I don't believe that damage connected. He's going to eat an orange, and BK burns the flash, though.
Yeah, and if you're in a situation where the Twitch that's down 2 levels is able to blow your GP's flash, the game is pretty hard. And it's not exactly getting better, because Twitch about to get that potential second item online, whether we see the Kraken Slayer for the greedy damage or we see something like the Gale Force instead, I don't know, we will see. I would go Kraken because I am a psychopath, but we will see what Udapon goes towards. And it feels like all of these champions, bar maybe Ari and Skarner to an extent, have very good later stage scaling. And even then, in certain situations, those two champions can be pretty good too. On the flip side, Rascal Jester, yes, they are scaling as well, but they are quite behind, and realistically, on the item spikes that they can fight, only Zeri is even close to the opposite number. So it feels like, unless Sol can dish out tons of damage, which realistically their champion right now isn't going to do the most, it's hard to find long 5v5 fights that are winning, unless you can find some sort of pick initially, which while Secret is playing very well, it's not quite worked out here so far for Rascal Jester.
Not really, and I feel like as we're going later into the game, the thing you mentioned earlier on, the range, it starts becoming very relevant, because Bel'Veth, quite short range. I know we'll need to set up barrel chains, which definitely possible, but not the most reliable form of DPS, and it's only really Sol with stacked lethal tempo that has any semblance of range, and even then, you're facing a Twitch. Is that really going to help you so much? So it definitely feels like it's going to go from bad to worse here for Rascal Jester, but they've got some hope. I feel like their composition, if you find the right engagement, they can win the fights if you give them some more time. Unfortunately, DFM, not interested in giving more time. They're going to start out the Baron and they're going to take it.
Yeah, they're going to delete it, so it's gone before any kind of contest can come through. However, engage.
Steel is going to find the Impale onto Recap, who is going to go into that ultimate Emmy, taking down with the Ignite. He is just going to survive, and now Rascal Jester are getting cut down in the river. So it's almost activated. He's on the flank looking for more kills, but no, it's just 2 for DFM. It's the Baron for DFM, and Rascal Jester again walking away empty-handed.
Yeah, they will likely get themselves that mid tower because of these HP values, or at least the dragon, if not. Which isn't the worst thing in the world. You are putting yourself onto Soul Point. The problem is, I don't know if they'll be able to contest it in a couple of minutes, especially with this Baron being started. They're also not going to do it too quickly. Here comes Seal. The Predator's online.
He's got the smile. Let's see. He steals the dragon. Oh no, just adding insult to injury here. It's a feels bad moment for the Rascal Jester squad.
Yeah, never mess with the Scorpion and the Cat. Easy steal there for Steel, looking pretty happy with that one. Namesake coming to fruition, and I mean, this to me is just the Twitch show. It looks okay to start with. The GP ulti is a little bit late, but only just came off cooldown, and the deletion onto Evie is attempted, but look at the damage here from Udapon. Just starts hitting so hard in a second as bang, bang, bang goes Recap. Eno then getting chunked too. The last chapter over the backline as well. Easy enough, and it just feels like DFM, they have the damage when they can dish it out, but it was so close here for Rascal Jester.
Close, but not close enough. Sol will have to go over the wall. And let's see how much DFM can break this map more with the Baron buff. The tier 2 in the top lane is going to fall initially. Hopefully they'd be looking at the inhibitor turrets, trying to, put the final... set themselves up to really finish this game off.
Yeah, and it's a case they don't really need to do too much. We see the Predator pop, but realistically, Steel is just threatening. There's no actual engage going to come through there. They have strength in these 2 lanes, as Yaharong very much sitting pretty in that top side, as maybe they try and collapse onto the Ahri, but you are collapsing onto an Ahri, which is a very difficult task to accomplish. I would like to see them play through 3 lanes if they can, at least slow push in that bottom side. get that tower, use this as more of an economy Baron than an actual game-ending Baron, because
Mhm.
realistically speaking, you have no reason to threaten the game to be over, as teleport there coming through from recap might be looking for some sort of flank, but
That is a very wide flank. And
it-
he is going to be spotted on the way. In fact, Ebi and Yarong are on their way to try and take him down. This
oh
is
no. Oh
This is
no.
dangerous. Someone play the
Run.
Jocelyn because Evie is coming for recap, and in the meantime, Utapon is unleashing hell in the bot lane. The final chapter coming in, and Yaharong will take down Secret. That's recap falling out to Evie. DFM with 2 more kills.
It's just too easy for DFM. They'll happily take your life. They'll take your towers. They might just look to take a little bit more. Maybe that inhib's going to fall, as you know, you do have 2 members down here. On the flip side for Rascal Jester, Evie going to happily sustain up to that thanks to those transfusions as well. And I mean, they've got that opportunity, but they're not going to push for it. They will just take those outer towers. And when you've got yourself a 10k gold lead, 11k now, it just feels like it's all DFM from here.
Yeah, it very much feels like this splits expectations trump what Rascal Jester were able to do at the end of spring, because they were the DFM killers in spring split. They were the only team able to beat them in the regular season, and now it just seems like we're back to business as usual with Rascal Jester, quite frankly, looking lost this game.
I mean, the problem is that as soon as they ended up having that issue in the mid lane very early on, they lost their window to try and shut down Twitch early. On top of that, Vlad was given the opportunity to free scale throughout the entire game into this GP top side without any contest. And this is kind of the issue, which partially stems from the death of the mid lane, but it also stems from this Bel'Veth pick, because you are investing into yourself more than into your team. You are that big late game carry. And whilst, you know, Hachimecha hasn't exactly died much, only the 1 death, there hasn't been any real proactivity either. It's a case of, I'm scaling, but I'm scaling into a composition that, realistically speaking, I can never touch, and that becomes a problem as we go later and later.
Especially when you're forced out of your own jungle. Where is Hachimecha really farming? I mean, Soul, Recap, I know they all want to get that CS, and you can see 164 at 27 minutes, and not even the second item completed. This Bel'Veth has a long, long way to go before it's any relevant.
Oh, absolutely. It's a little bit of a nightmare scenario, and I think this also just doesn't fit Rascal Jester as a team, because when you look at this team in general, I feel like it's Hachimetra is the one that you look for these proactive early game plays. I mean, Secret has looked fantastic on this Nautilus in terms of finding some engages that, you know, realistically played a little bit better, a little bit differently, from other members, might have resulted in kills. It's not enough alone. It's always been Hachimecha making that tempo in the early game, controlling what Rascal Jester wants, and if you're not put on this Wukong, if you're not put on something that can be proactive, suddenly this feels like a little bit of a sinking ship that is without their captain.
That's a very great metaphor. That is exactly how Rascal Jester have felt this game. DFM will be able to take the Soul Point Dragon, but it feels just like a formality. That was, in fact, the economy ban. The next one is spawning right now. All the inhibitors are standing intact. But for how long? I don't really know. Yarong is 5 levels ahead of Hachimecha.
Yeah, I think that honestly, Yarong just went, there's no way someone would be stupid enough to walk up to me when I'm 5 levels up, so...
He's good. It's a Zeri.
Yeah. It's balanced. It does end up getting away scot-free for that one, but it just is a case now of DFM turn to that Baron and get ready to unleash Rain. If Udapon is given half a second, your whole composition will get Thanos snapped out of existence, because that's a 3-item Twitch. Hurricane online, you're going to hit absolutely everyone. It feels like it might be a 50-50 angle. Hachimecha looking for that one. I don't know how much we'll be able to see, but they now know it's coming. Lissandra far.
I don't believe DFM know that Hachimecha is behind the pit. They are going to play it safe. They don't know where Hachimecha
they don't
is,
know.
and that is enough to keep them guessing. You can see the patience on this Baron. They wait out the camp barrage. The DPS stops. There is the engage going in from Rascal Jester. Steel is almost dead, but Utapon, he's still alive. He is still untouched. He is still hitting every single member of Rascal Jester. Recap actually almost taking him down, but the rest of the team is dead. That is a 4-for-1. You only got the support, and I know he's faced faced with an impossible task as Steel is looking to just run him down. Over the wall goes Yaharong. The scale shots miss, but it doesn't really matter. It's a matter of time. You have to feel like Aino under the turret is going to eat an orange, but it's not all okay because that's the ace and DFM are going for the Nashor.
And you wonder whether they could have potentially been looking to end that one if the kill comes a bit further, or a little bit earlier rather, but I guess it's not going to come through this time. Instead, going to turn towards that Baron. It's pretty much as easy as you'd like. Going to contest that one, no one shall. And it just feels like suddenly DFM, they're starting to unleash it. And as you say, Utapon completely untouched in that one. The initial engage looks great here from Secret, but it's not going to be quite enough. They do know where Hachimesha is thanks to that Baron trigger on the backside, and it looks great. The knockup actually helps out a lot. Baron with the assist as Steel tries to get bursted down, but it's not enough, and Twitch leaves the enemy feeling a little bit twitchy-ish, as it's going to be plenty of damage unleashed. Nice cleanse flash away from Recap, the zoning comes through, but there's no damage available, and unfortunately, what can you do if you can't deal damage?
Well, not much is the simple answer here, and I know buying a lot of time here, honestly stopping DFM from breaking open the base, giving Rascal Jester one more chance, and this engage it almost worked. Oh, yeah. Utapon doesn't have summoners, and all the ultimates are back up.
I think that is a fantastic point, that there is no summoners available. Counterpoint. Steel has Predator and is trying to sprint down literally anyone. And I still don't know how easy it'll be here to find this Twitch, because when you are in stealth, when you are legitimately a whole screen away, unleashing that spray and parry, that rat-a-tat-tat, making the enemy go splat, it's quite difficult to find access for this composition for Rascal Jester. They're very reliant on Secret to do so, and Nautilus can only go so far.
That is very true indeed, and the inhibitor turrets are under siege. The mid one will go in just a couple of more shots. The bot one is dead already. It's a patient game. DFM, they've got all the goalie they could want, 13,000. The numbers read at the top right now, and Rascal Jester, they need to pick their fight very carefully because they might only get one more.
Yeah, they very well might only get the one, and you have to wonder what is their out. And to me, it is potentially looking like they might not have one.
Ooh, Yaharong looking for the gauge, forces the ultimate counter on Recap. He goes golden. He doesn't have the flash. He is a dead man walking, and Utapon on this side with the spray and pray. He is going to go golden. He does not care about the crowd control. He doesn't care about Rascal Jester, and neither do DFM. As at this point in the game, it's all done. It's all dusted. You have to believe Hachimesha and Sol, they're alive, but Abby says not for long as he dives forward, and Sol barely keeping on. The Nexus starts are down, and the Nexus itself is going to be exposed. Some more fun DFM will have in the base of Rascal Jester, but they will surely take the win 6-1 to finish off the first round robin.
Yeah, it's a clean match there for the side of DFM. They're able to sweep through Rascal Jester, and with a kill score of 20.